What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another MLB The Show 24 franchise mode here with our Pittsburgh Pirates. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute action-packed video today. We have not one, not two, but three baseball games that we are going to be covering. We're going to be diving into a little bit of the minor leagues as well. We're going to be talking about the do's, the don'ts of the franchise. We're going to be talking all types of great things here in today's episode. And if you guys do enjoy today's episode, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you, that is right, only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys did miss the last episode, we had opening day festivities in Miami. Unfortunately for our Pirates, we did fall. We are now 0-1, as you can see in front of you. Heading into game number 2, however, we do have starting pitcher recently signed. Micheal A signed him in the spring training to see what he was able to do, and he is obviously going to be that number 2, number 3 guy in our rotation. Micheal A definitely a hopeful for the season ahead of us as we enter into the start of the season. Talking about the game number 2 lineups, we're going to be diving into the Marlins first. They have Jazz Chisholm Jr. leading off, Bryan De La Cruz followed in second, Luis Arias, Jake Burger, Josh Bell, Jesus Sanchez, Nick Gordon, Christian Betancourt, and rounding things out in the 9th spot is Avisail Garcia. And for your Pittsburgh Pirates, the 4-1-2 packing a punch right off the bat, we have Oneil Cruz leading things off, hitting 500 so far, had a very good first game. He did have that first game home run. Very good signs to see as Cruz coming back off of an injury-riddled 2023 season. Following right behind him is going to be the 2-hitter in Brian Hayes, the Gold Glover. Brian Reynolds in right field batting in the 3 spot. Andrew McCutchen, 1 home run away yet again to 300 career home runs, hoping to achieve glory. And next right behind him is going to be Connor Joe, don't you know. Micheal A. Taylor is going to be following him up in the 6th spot. Henry Davis is going to be the catcher behind the backstop. He's going to be batting 7th today. Right behind him is going to be Jack Sowinski, and in the 9th spot is going to be Ji-Hwan Bae. Bae is going to be rounding things out. So that is what the lineup is going to be. As we talk about that, before we dive right into that, I do want to really quick talk about some of the AA and lineups, things of that nature. So as you can see in front of you, we do have guys like Tamar Johnson, players like that are going to be leading things off in the minors. I just wanted to kind of throw this out there. Feel free to pause this if you're kind of curious to see where we place some of the guys. We also do have the AAA lineup that is going to be in front of you as well. That is going to be having players like Liover Peguero, who's obviously had a struggling spring training, if you guys did watch those. Same thing with players like Nick Gonzalez, Edward Olivares, those guys looking to find their way back. And also we have slotted in there players like Yuli Gurriel and Yasmani Grandal, some veterans that have a nice depth for the season, hoping to get those guys rolling in. And talking about finally the last thing is going to be the starting rotation. Players like Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, those guys, Ronci Contreras, all going to be key aspects into this AAA team, trying to make that push to the majors. As we dive into opening day, right now the Buccos are ready to take on game number 2 here in Miami. We are moments away from first pitch. We have another what should be a good pitcher's duel. We have Micheal Lorenzen on our side, and then following him is going to be Jesus Luzardo, is going to be his pitching matchup for the day. Luzardo had a very, very nice season last year, kind of one of those breakout seasons, very similar to Mitch Keller. You're going to be looking at them right now. Over just 178 innings, he struck out 208 batters with a strikeout rate of over 30%, an absolute insanity bonkers start. And talk about bonkers, that is Oneil Cruz, who has been starting things off hot, but not in this one. That is going to be a fly out for Oneil Cruz. Next batter is going to be Brian Hayes. He's going to slap this one dead center field, but that is the deepest part of the park, and that is just not good enough. That is out number 2. We're going to be diving into things fastly. We are going to be trying to get these games going as Brian Reynolds, the 3 3-0 count, kind of jams him, probably shouldn't have swung, but regardless, that is going to be the first inning, a quick 1-2-3 inning for Luzardo. As we take a look at Micheal Lorenzen, 153 innings pitched for him, not the biggest strikeout guy, as you're going to see the strikeout rate under that 20th percentile, and a walk rate, though, only of 8.3, which isn't too bad. The whip, a nice 1.2. As we're talking about that strikeout rate, though, first batter of the day, Jazz Chisholm goes down swinging. Brian De La Cruz would follow. He's going to hit this one to the shortstop. Cruz, De La Cruz to Cruz. That is going to be out number 2 here in the first. And Luis Arias hits this one to Connor Joe. That is going to be a fast-moving first inning for both teams. Next up, the full count to Andrew McCutchen. Swing and a miss. Cannot keep up with the high heat. That is going to be a strikeout on McCutchen. Next batter, Connor Joe. 0-2 count. And that one freezes them. Luzardo moving things along fastly, picking up strikeout after strikeout. Next batter would be Michael Taylor. He is going to lazily fly this one out to fairly deep right field, but nonetheless, not a lot of velocity on that one. An easy fly out for Garcia. Moving things on to the bottom of the second, we got Micheal Lorenzen keeping that changeup going. Another nasty pitch there. That is going to end the second inning. He is moving through 2 solid frames so far. Looking into it now, moving into the 4th inning for Oneil Cruz. Good discipline. Seen that in game number 1. He is going to draw another walk. The first one allowed by Luzardo. Cabrian Hayes would be the next batter, and yet again, hitting them dead center field. Kind of a good sign to see Cabrian Hayes squaring up the baseball. Unfortunately, getting a little bit unlucky. Talking about unlucky, this one is going to yet again fly out to center field. That is going to be 2 fast outs after the walk. Andrew McCutchen, full count to him, and you guessed it, another lazy fly ball to center field. That is going to end the top half of the 4th. We are heading in the bottom half. Pirates and Marlins, still nobody on board so far. The 0-2 count to Jazz Chisholm, that one is going to be an easy ground out for Oneil Cruz. That is going to be the first out of the inning. Brian De La Cruz back at it. He's going to ground this one out now to the second baseman Bay. That is going to move things along here in the 4th. The 1-2 count to Arise. He's going to slap this one the other way. Hayes takes a diving stab at it. Cannot get there. Sawinski throws into second and nearly actually gets him. A pretty competitive throw by Sawinski, but regardless, Arias is in there at second. Berger now, 3-2 count. See you later. A hummer up in the zone. Lorenzen gets the strikeout. Excited for that one. He's going to do the same thing now to Josh Bell. Back-to-back strikeouts. That is his 4th strikeout of the game. The 2-0 count to Jesus Sanchez is going to be a lazy, shallow fly ball to Sawinski. That is 2 outs now in the 5th. The 1-2 to Gordon. That one is going to be up there. And again, an easy fly out is going to end the inning. So 5 innings full. Still no hits, no runs for the Pirates. Looking to make things happening in the 6th now. Sawinski is going to be able to be patient enough to draw the walk. That is the 2nd walk allowed for Luzardo in this one. Ji-Hwan Bae, an ugly swing on that one, is going to be the first strikeout of the inning. Luzardo's 5th of the ball game so far. Cruz is going to add to that tally now. 6 strikeouts over 6 frames. Luzardo looking sharp. This one, Cabrian Hayes tries, but Nick Gordon tries a little harder. A defensive web gem. Could have been the first hit for the Pirates, but Gordon keeps the no-hitter alive. The game is getting later in the time, and we are trying to get a hit, but Luzardo having some defensive help. And talk about a guy that doesn't need that help right now is Micheal Lorenzen. He is going to fan 2 batters in the inning. 6 solid frames from Lorenzen. We have yet again another impressive pitching duel to start the season. Brian Reynolds, the 3-2 count to him, and finally in the 7th to start it is going to be the first hit for the Pittsburgh Pirates, trying to get some momentum. And with that hit, Luzardo's arm already was going a little bit past what he's used to early in the season. They don't want to chance it. They are going to pull Luzardo, and they are going to put in Sixto Sanchez. We are going to be seeing a little bit of him in this one. Hit hard. That has an opportunity to be 2, and it is a double play right out of the pen. Sixto getting a little bit of help. Next batter, Connor Joe skies this one. Chisholm calls, or is not there, as Avisail Garcia takes that one. We are through the inning. Bottom 7 now. Brian De La Cruz, yet again, another ground ball out for him. Pretty much controlling De La Cruz in this one. And right here, Arias also going to follow that up with a ground out here in the bottom of the 7th. Jake Berger, 0-2. Similar pitch, not going to swing at this one. Frozen in fear. That is 2 strikeouts up in the zone for Lorenzen against Berger. Micheal A. Taylor would be the batter in the 8th. He's going to put a charge into this one. It's got some carry, and it will fall just short of the wall. That is going to be a stand-up double for Micheal A. Taylor, trying to get things going. The next batter now would be Henry Davis, and Davis connects. This one's driven well at the wall, and it is out of here. Henry Davis with his first home run of the regular season. Clear the deck, cannonball coming. That one not the deepest, similar to O'Neal Cruz's, not much of a wall scraper, but that is going to add 2 to the board here in the late frames. 8th inning, nobody out. Pirates now have a 2-0 lead. Henry Davis, a guy that Pirate fans were really hoping to see the offense connect with it last year, looking like he is off to the races right away. He had a hit yesterday, and this one is going to be able to count for him to touch all 4 bases. That is also going to be the first runs total of the game. G1 Bay would be the next batter. He's going to draw a walk. So with 1 out and Bay on first, he's going to head and try to steal, but Christian Betancourt has a cannon, and he shows it here. That is going to get the speedy G1 Bay. Next batter, O'Neal Cruz. He stings this one up center, and yep, you guessed it, O'Neal Cruz not going to get a game without trying to notch a hit. Cabrian Hayes, next batter, jolts this one to center, getting unlucky all day, but this one squared up as good as you can get over the head of Chisholm. That is going to score 1, but Hayes tries to get into third. He does so successfully. That is going to put him at third base with an RBI triple. That would call upon the bullpen, ending Sixto Sanchez's night, allowing the 3 runs, and Reynolds says we're not done yet. A base hit against Chagua is going to now make it a 4-0 game here in the late frames. Andrew McCutchen would be the next batter. Josh Bell throws his body on the line, and Kutch, busting it down the line, nearly beats that one. That is going to be it for the 8th, but damage has been done. We're going to be moving things along. Bottom 8, swing and a miss against Josh Bell. Lorenzen still in here for 8 innings. That is his 8th strikeout. Now moving things along is Jose Hernandez, going to be handling some lefties ahead, and again, not trying to wear down the arms early in the season as we move things along, and a good call as Hernandez catches Sanchez looking. That's going to be his first strikeout. We have 2 outs in the 8th. Next batter, Nick Gordon, is going to ground this one out to Connor Joe, and we are heading into the 9th inning. Can we get more? The 2-2 count. Micheal A. Taylor, very similar spot to the last one. This one just going over the top of the wall, bouncing on the top of it. That is going to be another home run for the Pirates, putting the lead to a 5-0 score. Pirates having every opportunity. The offense finally breaking out. It has taken them nearly 2 games, but we are here. It is time to show an 0-2 count to Sawinski. A nicely defensive play is going to get him out. We are heading now into the bottom of the ninth, up by 5. Pirates have a chance to get their first win of the season right here. And now as we jump into the bottom of the ninth inning, Mark Melancon coming in. It is obviously a non-save opportunity. Recently re-signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates, trying to give him that glory days that he once had back in 2015. But unfortunately for him, Christian Betancourt would be the first batter, and he would get a single. Of Micheal Garcia now. That one's going far, and that is going to be a home run for Garcia. He has now trimmed the lead down to 3 of Micheal Garcia's first home run of the season. A opposite field jack for him. That is going to put the scores at 5-2. Nobody out, and the Marlins still have plenty of fight in them. Top of the order now for them, Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Oneil Cruz botches this one. He cannot make the play. A strong throw regardless does not get the runner. Chisholm, a speedy runner, that is going to allow him to be at first base. Next batter, Brian De La Cruz, and Ji-Hwan Bae rolls this one up. That is going to be a double play, saving his fellow middle infielder from the error. That one grounding to Connor Joe. And ladies and gentlemen, your Pittsburgh Pirates have won their first game of the 2024 season, notching game number 2 in their belts. The first away victory of the year, putting Skip Schumacher in disbelief as his Miami Marlins only able to tally 3 hits in this one. Lorenzen is going to pick up the win. We are heading into the next game right now. And we are here, game number 3. So far, the series is split 1-1. Marlins take game 1. Pirates battle into game number 2. They're going to take that one. Marlins wearing the City Connect uniforms from last season. A very nice design, if I do say so myself. The Pittsburgh Pirates rocking the away uniforms. Oneil Cruz so far on the season off to a very hot start, as we are going to be taking a look at former reliever converted starter A.J. Puck. A sub-4 ERA and a whip under 1.18. Looking to have a great starting role, hopefully for him, but unfortunately for him, he's got to face Oneil Cruz, and that is going to be at least one. And the speed of Cruz gets himself stretching what would be normally a single for most into a double, as now up is going to be key Brian Hayes. He's going to loft this one to right field. Garcia tails that one, and that is going to allow Cruz to tag up to third base with just 1 out. Now your batter is going to be Brian Reynolds. He's going to flare this one. Is it going to get down and just over the head of Arias? That is going to be in there. It will score Cruz. And next batter up, Andrew McCutchen, number 4 batter here. Here comes the pitch, and it is blasted. That one well over the wall, and Mr. 300 has finally hit career home run 300 for Andrew McCutchen. The milestones, the career landmarks that are Andrew McCutchen. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't do it in front of the home faithful, but that's okay. Not every 300 of those home runs were in front of the home fans. This one, luckily for him, hits off the foul pole, so he'll have an easy time getting the ball back. A absolute milestone, and the Miami fans giving him a curtain call. Kudos to the fans in Miami. A true potential Hall of Famer in the mix of what could be his final season in the majors. An absolute thrill to watch as the next batter, Connor Joe. The show does not stop. That is going to be slapped opposite way. That is going to be a double for Connor Joe, don't you know? That is now going to put him in scoring position for Michael Taylor. freezes him up as AJ Puk gets him on the changeup. That is going to be now 2 outs for Jack Sawinski, and he is going to ground that one out to first base. That is going to end the inning, but not after the damage has been done. Reynolds with the RBI single, and Andrew McCutchen chasing milestones. A 2-run shot in the first, does not waste any time, as the pitcher for the Pirates would be Johan Oviedo. Had a very nice start to the season last year, but kind of fizzled out, hoping that Oviedo can find himself into some form, as the first batter for him is going to be Jazz Chisholm. In that one, 98 on the corner. That is going to be the first strikeout in the first out for the Pirates. Next batter up, Brian De La Cruz. He's going to chase the slider and ground it out to Ji-Hwan Bae. There is now 2 outs in the first for Oviedo. Luis Arias, former batting champion, is up, and he's going to lash this one. Another hit for Arias, and as you would expect, a couple multi-hit games in the series for Luis Arias. And now Jake Berger up. That one is going to be into left center field, but Micheal A. Taylor is there. That is going to be a fast inning of work for Johan Oviedo. As we move things right along, we are back into the second inning for Oviedo. Josh Bell would be the batter. Cruz takes a diving attempt, and that is going to be a single for Josh Bell to lead things off here in the second inning for the Miami Marlins. Next batter is Jesus Sanchez, and a swinging at the miss at the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Next batter up, Nick Gordon. He's going to lash this one down the line, and that is at least going to be a double. The runner is a little bit slower at third base, so he is going to refrain from rounding third. Bell not the best at the fleet of feet for him. As we move things along, Christian Betancourt down on the slider, a nasty sharp slider, nearly 90 miles an hour for Oviedo's third strikeout of the game so far. That would end the inning with a ground out from Abisail Garcia. AJ Puk would continue in the third, as he's going to get Cabrian Hayes looking. That is Puck's 5th strikeout. Even though he's let up 3 runs, the strikeout rates have been good. Reynolds would be the next batter, an easy fly out to left field for him. McCutchen back, and McCutchen is going to hit a single up the middle. Already in this one, 2 for 2 for Andrew. Have yourself a day, and Connor Joe swinging a miss. That is going to be another strikeout. 6 strikeouts for AJ Puk through 3. In Oviedo, next batter is Chisholm. He is going to find a single through the first second base hole. That is going to put a runner at first to lead things off here in the third inning for the Marlins. Unfortunately, though, Oviedo has both his hands on his back after that pitch, not looking too great. We are forced to pull him out, getting assessed by the trainers. We will find out more after the game, but Bailey Falter is going to replace him in the meantime. So unfortunately for us, Oviedo only able to give us 2 full innings, but Ji-Hwan Bae diving stop, doesn't get to the ball, but recovers nicely. That is going to be a nicely stopped play for out number 1. Arias next batter. This one a gun of a throw by Henry Davis, and the catcher showing off that strong arm. A dot right to Cabrian Hayes gets Chisholm well in time. That is 2 outs now, and a rise. This one lashed to Cruz. That is going to end the third inning, and Bailey Falter coming out of the pen gets a nice quick 1, 2, 3 out of the gate. Jack Sawinski now the next batter. Nick Gordon trying to do another web gem on the day. This one not going to go his way. Sawinski is in there with a single, and Ji-Hwan Bae lays down a bunt, and it's a beauty. That is a infield single bunt base hit for Ji-Hwan Bae, as he says, let's keep the train rolling. As here it is, full count to Henry Davis, and he connects. Back-to-back days, Henry Davis has hit a home run, and that one is going to put a gash in the scoreboard. The blood is not going to be stopping, as we have put the damage right in front of the Marlins. It is 6-0 now. The Pirates looking going to continue as we are now rounding things out to the top of the order. An absolute blast from Davis as he absolutely knows that one was gone. Similar to the one yesterday, this one with a bit more carry, and that would end A.J. Puck's day. The converted reliever to starter, not having a great first day sample size as he was in yesterday. Sixto Sanchez is looking to take the blunt of the rest of the innings, trying to fit into that long relief role, maybe slot himself into a regular rotation role. O'Neal Cruz would be his first batter, and he's going to get him swinging and missing on a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. Sixto Sanchez trying to get things going, and he would do just not that, as right there he's going to allow Brian Hayes to place this one in the right center field gap. That is a double for Brian Hayes. Another nicely strung base hit for the Pirates as Brian Reynolds, the 3-2 count for him is going to be a lazy ground ball to Arias, and that is going to end the inning. Moving things to the bottom of the fourth is Bailey Falter back at it, trying to eat up some innings of his own following the injury in the third inning. He would allow one hit and then follow that up by striking out Josh Bell, trying to get things moving. Jesus Sanchez, this one to Cruz, takes it himself. Strong throw. That is going to be a double play to end the inning. Falter is through 2 innings of his own work. McCutchen already 2 for 2 on the day. And this one, number 301, is going to come on the same day, and look where that one landed. Andrew McCutchen gets absolutely all of it. That is going to go 454 feet off the bat of Kutch, well over 115 miles an hour off the bat. An absolute piss missile coming from Andrew McCutchen, and there's the cutlass, the celebration. The Pirates enjoying this one up in a comfy 7-0 lead, and Connor Joe says, I want in on some fun. He's gonna find himself with yet again another double following the home run. He is now in scoring position yet again. Micheal A. Taylor, Mr. Patient, finds himself with the third walk of the series for him. Jack Sawinski, next batter, he's gonna get plunked, and bases are now loaded. Sixto Sanchez has nobody out. Ji-Hwan Bae slaps this one. Bae can run. They will get the runner heading to second, but Bae is in there, so runners are at the corners as a run to score. Henry Davis, next batter. This one not gonna go over the wall. That one's gonna kill some worms. That is a ground ball double play, and that is gonna end the inning. Sixto Sanchez lets up a couple as we move things along. Bottom 5, Bailey Falter lets up another leadoff hit. Reynolds tries to get it in. That is going to be a double for Nick Gordon. That is his second double of the season already. Avisail Garcia, next batter, after the batter would ground out previously. That is going to allow him to score. That is going to have a 8-1 deficit. Still Miami down big. Jazz Chisholm lashes this one to center, but a shoestring catch by Micheal A. Taylor is going to allow the inning to end. End of the 7th as things have been moving along fast. We are still at an 8-1 score. Henry Davis not done yet. Him and Andrew McCutchen compiling for a majority of the runs today. That is another hit for Henry Davis as Brian Reynolds would be the batter up. 2-2 count to him already with 2 outs as Cruz and Hayes couldn't get things going, nor would Reynolds, as that would end Bailey Falter's day. 8 through a good portion of those middle innings. We really needed him to due to the injury, as Ryan Baruki would be the next batter, or the next pitcher to come up. Ji-Hwan Bae is going to be the guy to take the first out here against Brian De La ground out, it seems like, in this series. Connor Joe would take the next out, and Baruki is soaring through the 8th. He's going to get out of it. Next batter, or next pitcher into the 9th now is Andrew Nardi. Nardi. 2 innings already for Nardi. He did tally that win in the game that the Marlins won, and we said it before, Kutch is not done. He is going to find himself having a 4-for-4 day, 2 home runs, a single, and a double. An amazing game for him, and Connor Joe still going to get on base. He's going to get hit by the pitch, and Micheal A. Taylor, he is going to jack this one over the wall, and Micheal Taylor with another no doubt home run, and this one is all but over for the Miami Marlins. That one going 442 feet. Cruz, Hayes, ecstatic in the dugout, and the power is here in game number 3 as we take a look. Sawinski, nobody out. The 11-1 deficit is the score. Takes an ugly hack. He is going to get hurt. He is also going to have to get evaluated by the trainers, and batting is going to be Austin Meadows, just making the cut into the Major League squad. This one dribbles right past Josh Bell, hits off the bag right over his glove in a very unlucky play. It is going to count as a base hit, and that would be it for Nardi, as Ryan Weathers would come in, does get the next 2 outs, and unfortunately allows a base hit as Cruz is going to get another notch in the belt. That is now runners at first and second for Cabrian Hayes. He's going to hit this one on the ground. They're going to send the runner home, and a play at the plate and not in time. That is going to end the inning. Trying to get a little greedy. Ryan Baruki trying to finish things out. First batter for him in the 9th would be Bell. He would ground out to O'Neal Cruz. Following him is going to be Jesus Sanchez, and he is going to lash this one, and finally Sanchez doing something other than striking out, it seems, in this one, finally notching his first hit of the season. It is going to be a seemingly meaningless double, as Nick Gordon would be the batter, and although it's meaningless, it is going to allow a run to score, as that is another double for Nick Gordon. His 3rd on the season does draw in the run. It is 11-2. Connor Joe tries to field this one, can't make the catch cleanly, still is able to toss it to Baruki for out number 2. Final batter would be Avisail Garcia right to Hayes to first base, and your Pirates have taken games 2 and 3 in the series. As we move deeper, we are going to be talking about game number 4. We're going to be talking about how some of these players in the minor leagues are looking, and we're going to be talking about Oviedo and Jack Sawinski and seeing where their statuses are, as both of those guys had to get replaced in this one. Your Pittsburgh Pirates would finish the total. 11-2 is the final. 18 hits for the Pirates, an absolute offensive display, and Henry Davis also adding a home run. Micheal A. Taylor, Kutch with 2, 4 total home runs on the day. A true fireworks display from the Buccos. The cannonballs were being loaded, and they were getting fired on all cylinders, as we're going to jump into some action and talk about Game 4 right now. And moving things along, we're going to be talking about game number 4. Before you guys mention anything, we decided not to play game number 4. We do quick manage games. It's just going to kind of move the franchise along at a very healthy pace. And at the same time, sometimes I feel like it's better to have some of these quick simulations, because for me, some players I just personally struggle with. And as the season, or as the MLB season has just begun, the MLB The Show season that is, I am personally still adjusting some sliders and things like that, trying to get things going. I'm just going to throw this out there at the beginning of this video, or at the end of this video rather, and just kind of tell you guys what we play on and just kind of talk about that while we're breaking down this game number 4. The Pirates did end up losing game number 4 9-3. Marco Gonzalez didn't do the best job at trying to pick up the win, but I did want to just mention I do my best to try to do these as realistic as possible and try to give you guys the best viewing experience for that. I do play on legend difficulty on both hitting and pitching. For me right now, I'm trying to adjust the sliders to where I'm not striking out as much in the hitting portion, because if I turn it down, I just end up hitting way too much. So I'm trying to mess with some sliders. So do just bear with me while I find a comfortable slider position for everything. And in the same breath, it's the same thing with pitching. And that's not more of a brag, but I'm trying to not dominate all the time when I'm pitching. I end up finding myself striking out more guys than I think I truly should be doing, just in my opinion. So do bear with me. If you guys do see that some of these stats might look a little bit weird, that may be why. We're just kind of trying to feel things out. I'm trying to mess with these sliders and allow this to be a very fun viewing experience for everybody. And as we are going to look at game number 4, we are going to say that, again, this is a quick simulation. We did get 13 hits and only struck out 4 times. So better than game number 1 where we struck out 18 times. 14 less strikeouts. We'll take that for sure. Only 2 walks on the day, one coming from G1 Bay and one coming from Henry Davis. Home runs from both Brian Hayes and Micheal A. Taylor are going to be good. Micheal A. Taylor's been absolutely mashing the ball. It's good to see that Brian Hayes is also starting to get that power surge as well. Before we talk about that, we're going to talk about the pitching. And like I said, Marco Gonzalez did not have his A game on, and neither did Dory Moretta. Marco Gonzalez does go 4 innings, allows 7 hits on 5 earned runs while walking 3 batters. Did not strike out a single batter in the entire game in those 4 innings that he pitched. Dory Moretta, he pitched 1 2/3, allowing 3 hits, 3 runs, and 1 walk. Did strike out 2 batters, but that doesn't matter when you're letting up multitudes of runs. Colin Holderman only does go 1/3 of an inning as he allows 3 hits on 1 earned run, and Mark Melanson would be the last one. He did pretty good, however, going 2 solid frames and punching out 1 batter of his own. Now, as we talk about things, we're going to break down some of the highlights that happened in the minor leagues. We're going to highlight some of the better things that have been happening. Although it's early, it is worth noting that Jared Jones, we did send him down. He didn't have as great of a spring as he had in real life, but he is having a great start to AAA. He went all 9 innings, only walking 1 batter, allowing 5 hits, and striking out 13 batters himself. So things looking pretty good in his way. Now talking about some more serious news, but not so serious news. Jack Sawinski, the update came in on him, and he does just have a little bit of shoulder soreness. So Sawinski maybe just swung the bat a little bit, a little kink in the shoulder. We're going to give him the day or 2 off just so he can rest that shoulder. We don't want to have any serious injuries throughout the rest of the season. So with that being said, Johan Oviedo also getting very lucky as he only had a lat muscle strain as well. So both of the injuries that you guys did see in the video are not so severe. They're only going to be out for a couple of days. Nothing too crazy like that. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is going to do it for today's episode. In the next one, we are going to be taking on the Washington Nationals, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you, that is right, only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, guys, I will see y'all, everybody, on the next one. Bye-bye.